Hello everyone and welcome to Caveman Casuals. This is going to be a series of 5 to 10 minute shorts addressing your questions or inquiries regarding audio engineering, the music business, the music industry in general, or maybe mental health, or any questions that might come to mind. So the topic that I wanted to address today is actually a question by a gentleman named Josh, who reached out to me after my live Instagram session with Saul the Singer. If you haven't heard of Saul the Singer, definitely go on Instagram and look for his handle. Thank you for all those who showed up yesterday. I hope that it was helpful, and we're going to try to make this a weekly thing. But more on that in another video. The question that Josh was asking is basically the difference between mixing and mastering. And that is a common misconception in my line of work, that mixing and mastering are the same thing. So let's just get the elephant out of the room. That's not true. Mixing and mastering couldn't be more different than each other. And I'm going to go into a little bit of detail now. Let me try to break all the information down to bite sizes for you. Basically, the song creation process from beginning to end can be broken up into 3 main sections in which there are 3 different engineers for the jobs. So the first section is where singer-songwriters, producers, and recording engineers all work as one. Referring back to the restaurant analogy, that is where the first chef comes in. So the first chef is in charge of making sure they pick the freshest ingredients, so the producer picks the best samples that best serves the song, or the chef picks the best ingredients that best serve that particular dish or recipe. So he knows where to get all the best fish, he knows where to get all the best meats, he knows where's the best place to get all the best vegetables, the freshest of the fresh. So same for the producer, same for the engineer, he knows what's the best mic for that particular vocalist. He knows the best microphones, the best preamps, the best compressors for those instruments or for those samples, that kind of thing. So that's all in the first section of a song creation. Stage 2 of song creation is where the mixing engineer is, or is where the second chef comes in. So he's the actual cook. So as you know, when you are served a dish, the plate is not the size of your face unless you're in Texas. But essentially, even with a really large size plate, there is limited space on there. So just like how we have volume limits, the mixing engineer's job is to make sure that you don't just get a whole pile of potatoes, or you just don't get all kick drum and then there's no space for the vocals or snare or any of the other instruments. So he makes sure that there's a balanced amount of rice to meat ratio to vegetables and so on and so forth. You get the idea. So it's just throwing faders up, maybe just trimming off the stems or just trimming off some rough edges here and there. But the source material should sound fantastic just by itself, and the mix engineer's job is just to throw up faders, do some volume automation rights to have some features and moments in this stage, but for the most part, minimal EQ and just getting an overall balance. I do want to mention one very important side note, and that is auto-tune or tuning vocals should have been done in the production and recording stage. The addition of effects, like special effects, reverbs, delays, swells, that kind of thing, should also have been done in the first stage. If the mixing engineer is using reverb and is using delays, it's usually just to subtly enhance or bring out an effect or feature a moment. But he's not using it for creative effects. The creative stage is actually the first stage where the playtime, the songwriting process, the production and all that happens. The third and final stage of song creation is where people like myself, the mastering engineer, or the final chef sits. And the job of the final chef is to make sure that everything that gets sent out to the floor to be served to customers all looks the same. So if you ordered a dish and the guy next to you orders the same dish, both dishes should come out of the kitchen looking exactly the same, exactly like the menu. So the job of a mastering engineer is to enhance if the song calls for it, or just make sure that the vibe and the energy of the track translates onto all the different playback mediums. So whether it's car speakers, whether it's phone speakers, whether it's hi-fi speakers, whether it's headphones, whether it's earbuds, you get the idea. Is to make sure that even though there are limitations of the playback mediums, the vibe and the energy still translates across. So sometimes that involves a lot of work to make that happen, or sometimes it doesn't involve any work at all. We might add a little bit of level just to make sure that it's competitive with commercial tracks. But for the most part, all I'm doing is just throwing it on, making sure that what I'm hearing will translate onto different playback mediums. The chef is just making sure that whatever dish goes out looks exactly like it does on the menu consistently. And that's all the time that we have for today, folks. I hope that you found that short and insightful. If you like information like this, or if you have any additional questions, feel free to reach out in our Instagram direct messages. I will leave the link down below. If you like content like this, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for every time we release a video like this. You will be the first to know. That being said, my name is Caveman. This is Caveman Casuals, and we'll see you on the next one.